Hi, Chris McClune here at FDIC International 2024. I'm here today with Eric Maynard. He is the National Sales Manager for Kuriyama Fire Products, and we're here at the booth. We're going to go through a little bit of history, and then we're going to talk about their product line. So, Eric, thank you for having us. Could you just give me a brief history of Kuriyama Fire Products?
Sure. Kuriyama Fire Products has been in the fire service for nearly 60 years. We started as Jaffrey Hose or Jaffrey Valve. That's the name a lot of people recognize. That subsequently morphed into Armored Textiles, which is another name a lot of people recognize. And about 4.5 years ago, we assumed the Kuriyama corporate name. That's our history. We've been around in the same location in New Hampshire for almost 60 years. The home office is based in Schaumburg, Illinois, and that's who we are.
A lot of different things to look at here at the booth today. We're going to get to a very specific item toward the end. Why don't you take us through your product lines as we go around?
Sure. Yeah, this is what we're looking at right here. This is our Armtex Attack product line. This is the workhorse of our fire service sales. This is what most fire departments use. A huge majority of them are using this style of hose. This is your double jacket rubber lined and double jacket polyurethane lined. Both very robust, very well known in the fire service. Multiple diameters, multiple colors. We can accommodate pretty much anybody's request for colors and diameters in this product. What the difference is the polyurethane lined hose. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit better packability. It likes high pressure. And on the Armtex Attack, again, this is our workhorse of our fire service sales. Rubber lined. There's miles and miles of this stuff out in the field. Very reliable hose.
Well, now we're looking at some suction hose, mainstay in any rural firefighting environment. What are these products?
This is interesting. This is our Tiger Flex suction hose. This is a hose we manufacture in our Illinois facility. And we couple and test this at our Indiana facility. And what's special about this is also our own design coupling. This is called a full flow coupling. And what this does is it turns things around a little bit. Typically the coupling slides on the inside, and then you have a band clamp on the outside. They can be known to loosen up in somewhat of a maintenance item. We've turned that around, so now this coupling, the full flow coupling is what we call it. This is now the female portion of it. So this Tiger Flex actually threads in to this coupling. And what's neat is on the inside, we have an internal expansion ring. What that does is that helps us maintain the full flow of this hose all the way through, so there's nothing choking down the inside diameter. It's also not field replaceable because it doesn't have to be. It's extremely robust. If you look inside here, the inside diameter is maintained all the way through the hose.
All right, well, the products we've seen so far have been getting water to the truck and to the firefighter who's at the nozzle. Now we're going to be talking about the nozzle and getting water on the fire. This is a Viper nozzle. Eric, would you take me through the Viper line of nozzles, and then we'll talk a little bit about what makes this unique?
Sure. What's unique about the Viper line of nozzles for Kuriyama is, first and foremost, we're the only manufacturer that makes hose and nozzles. Everybody does one or the other. We do both. What separates the Viper line of nozzles from everything else is a feature called Ryle Static. But I'll describe a couple more things before I talk about that. What makes the nozzle special is, for starters, there's a dual seat, dual drive design on the shutoff. It's a ball valve, but we have a seat in the front and the rear. There's a seat and a seal in the front and the rear. And it's also driven from both sides, so you get a very positive action all the time. And then towards the business end of the nozzle, you'll notice there's no more spinning teeth. There's nothing machined in the face of this nozzle. So our straight stream nozzle, the straight stream water pattern comes out of here, and it's very effective as far as reach and as far as how precise it is. Then when you switch to the fog pattern, instead of being, 6 or 7 feet high, the fog pattern in these nozzles would fill the bay door of a firehouse, and the water is very clear. What that does is that helps bring down the temperature of a fire very quickly. So the effective reach on something like the Blue Devil 3015, the effective reach on this on the straight stream is about 130 feet.
Oh, wow.
And then the fog pattern would pretty much fill this area right here. So you have truly a combination nozzle that does both jobs very well instead of, a mediocre job at doing both. And again, that's all because of this Ryle Static feature right here in the very tip of the nozzle. They're available in multiple sizes, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, up to 2.5. And the difference between the Spartan and the Blue Devil is this is constant gallonage. Your performance is stated right here in the valve head. The Blue Devil is selectable gallonage, so if water management is an issue, you don't want to show up at a trash can fire and put 150 gallons a minute. So you can knock like the 30-15, you can knock that down as low as 30 gallons a minute, conserve water if you're in a rural environment. Then you get the big boy right here with 250 gallons a minute if you really need to push some water out. Also, because there's a lack of turbulence in here, it lends itself to very low nozzle reaction, so it's a very manageable nozzle. And then lastly, if you look at the size of this nozzle, say the Blue Devil 3015, this is a very popular nozzle. It's a nozzle that's under 10 inches long and under 5 pounds. So for what it does, it's very compact. It's usually, a nozzle is usually much, of this performance, is usually much bigger, much longer, much heavier. So it fits in a hose bed easier, it's easier to manage, and it'll do both jobs very, very well.
All right, Eric, well, thank you very much for taking us around the booth today, letting us learn more about Kuriyama Fire Products and the different hose lines and the nozzle line. If anyone wants to get more information about Kuriyama Fire Products, how can they reach you?
Not a problem. Look us up, kuriyamafireproducts.com. There's a contact page. You can reach out to us and we'll get in touch with you. We'd be more than happy to show up at your location, either with a distributor or independently if we have to. We can do live demos, we can flow water, we can prove the performance of our Viper line and our hose products and let you see how the performance speaks for itself.
All right, perfect. Well, again, this has been Chris McClune for FDIC International 2024 at the Kuriyama Fire Products booth. Have a good one and stay safe.